Okay, thanks for staying with us. Time now for Media Watch, for which we're joined by James Creedon. Hi, James.
Good evening.
Okay, so we're going to start off with an American study that says that we have not yet had our full of Facebook and we are still very much stuck on Twitter. What's that about?
Right, addiction. They like to bandy that word around, maybe a little bit too much sometimes in these studies. But it's a study by the University of Chicago, their business school, Booth School of Business. They basically have determined that it's one of the toughest to resist addictions, or temptations rather. That is checking your Facebook, checking your Twitter, checking your Pinterest, social media in general. The equivalent of apparently cigarettes and sex. Now, I wonder by sex do they actually mean pornography? In any case, that's unclear. The study was conducted on 18 to 85-year-olds in Germany. So they gave all of the people who participated a BlackBerry, and every 30 minutes they had to check in with the researchers to see if they'd been tempted to check out their social media on their BlackBerry, and apparently it was pretty much all the time. So I suppose they're telling us what we already know, that when we have a smartphone, we tend to check it quite frequently for Facebook, Twitter, etc., because we all want to be loved.
Well, okay, well, that's turned my world upside down. Okay, in other news, telephone operators are thinking about ways of cutting down the amount of time we spend online.
That's right, because there are many studies at the moment saying that, there was one study in France saying that, for example, this is text messages, but it's also social media across the board, teenagers are sending an average of 83 text messages a day. So being connected, being plugged in is becoming a bit of a problem, perhaps even an addiction for some. So what have those kind people over at Orange Telecom decided to do? Put an end to unlimited internet. Now, it hasn't happened just yet, but they're planning essentially to introduce different offers based on internet use. So if you spend more time online, you pay more. It'll also provide for cheap deals. So you can, for very little money, you can access search engines and Facebook. Pay a bit more, you can access YouTube. Pay a bit more, you can access Skype. And I think actually Skype is the big concern for companies like Orange, because if you're Skyping, you're not ratcheting up the phone bill, right? So they want to find a way of perhaps dissuading customers from being on Skype all the time by getting them to pay more for the Skype option. But what's most worrying here actually is they're going to use technology called Deep Pocket Inspection, DPI, in order to distinguish our internet use. And it's highly invasive. It basically means that they know what you're looking at online. Now, that same technology is being provided to Orange through a French NGO called Cosmos, was also sold to Bashar al-Assad in Syria for his particular brand of internet espionage. So we're in a very quite a grey zone here, really, in terms of privacy, in terms of, civil liberties, really. And what I find most surprising about all of this is the French association, a French committee called CNIL, the National Commission for Information and Freedoms, which is meant to be protecting our freedoms online, has actually more or less given the green light to this. So it is, I think...
So this is going ahead?
It looks likely to go ahead. Orange is planning to roll this out. Will the competitors do the same? Will it happen overseas? We'll have to wait and see. But it's, I think, not a positive move for internet freedom.
Not going to be particularly popular as far as it looks to me.
Absolutely.
Okay, now the news weekly L'Express has been accused of being pretty sexist.
That's right. Let's take a look at it. It came out today. This is this week's L'Express magazine. These women who are ruining my life. And you have Ségolène Royal, Valérie Trierweiler, Martine Aubry, the former head of the Socialist Party. You've got Cécile Duflot, who is a Green Party minister. You've got Merkel. So these women who are ruining my life. Now, what a lot of people have been saying is, hold on a minute, he also has issues with male ministers, with other people. Why just choose women? Is it in a bid to cast him as this weak man who is being dominated by women? And if that is the case, it's a kind of a sexist... silly front page, and some people have been
or even assuming that he's the centre of these women's lives at all, that they put that much energy into ruining his life.
Right.
Interesting take on
several levels, it's silly. And here you have what people are predictably been doing. These women, or these journalists who are breaking my ovaries. That's kind of a satirical version online. Okay. Maybe the humour works better in French.
I'm going to come back there. Okay, great. Thanks very much for that Media Watch roundup. James Creedon.
Thanks, Georgia.
Okay, stay with us. Coming up, we've got Culture. The Chinese writer Mo Yan has won the most prestigious literary award in existence. France 24's Culture editor Eve Jackson will be talking about 2012's Nobel laureate in literature.